Most Indians can't fathom why relations with Nepal have deteriorated so sharply, so quickly. There was a bump in the relationship after the blockade in the Madesh area. Everyone was largely under the impression that things are on the mend, and now suddenly you have the biggest diplomatic and political row that India and Nepal have had. Joining us for perspective on what's gone wrong and what can be done to set things right is Rakesh Sood. He's been our ambassador in Nepal. With us also at this time is Tika Dakal. He is a leading political analyst and columnist from Kathmandu. So welcome. I want to go across to Ambassador Sood first. Most people who are watching would be shocked if somebody says that there was an Indian trying to cross over into Nepal and the Nepal armed police opened fire and an Indian was shot and there were others who were injured. It is being said that this is not linked to the border dispute, but something like this has never happened, and therefore it very clearly raises questions. What, in your view, sir, is the reason why the relationship between India and Nepal has gone so sharply southward, and what should we do now to try and fix it?
Well, first of all, I think it is a great tragedy that we've seen this incident of firing where an innocent person has lost his life. At the same time, while it has nothing to do with the dispute, the dispute is in the western border, that is Kalapani and Limpia Dhura and all of that area. And this is in the southern part, bordering Sitamarhi district in the Tarai. So in a sense, there is more than 1,000 kilometers distance between these two locations. But the fact is that we have an open border and people are used to crossing over the border on a regular basis. In fact, if the school on the Indian side is seen as a better school, then you will find that Nepalese children will be crossing the border every day to attend the school on the Indian side. And if there is a hospital on the Nepalese side, which is a better hospital, then you will find that Indians would be visiting that hospital on the Nepalese side. So that is the kind of movement that actually takes place. But the link is that because there is a heightened sense of nationalism, because of the dispute, the territorial dispute that has been raised with maps that have been issued both by India and by Nepal, that emotions tend to get a bit raw. And then when something like this happens, it leads to inadvertent escalation of rhetoric and tensions. And I think this is most unfortunate. The way to address this is first and foremost to ensure that we can actually press the pause button, we can refrain from rhetoric, and we can engage in dialogue. Because that's the only way to resolve these matters.
Tika Dakal, most people who are watching, and I've been reading a lot of commentary from Nepal which says that this isn't the case, but most people who are watching you at this time would tend to believe that it is because China is getting aggressive with India that the political leadership in Nepal, in a bid to appease the communist leadership in China, is opening a new front so that there is that much additional pressure in the India-Nepal relation, that this is essentially being done at the behest of Beijing. How do you respond to that concern?
Rahul, first of all, I think the relations between Nepal and India are a very unique kind of relationship that has been mostly outlined, and we have honored that. Both countries have honored that over the past several years, actually several decades. So this issue, the question of territorial kind of conflict at the moment between the two countries, is purely a bilateral issue between Nepal and India. So bringing in any third country in between is unwanted. What Nepal has always wanted is actually sort this issue out quietly through diplomatic means, diplomatic measures. So bringing in China in this kind of situation at the moment only actually contributes to the escalation And I share with Ambassador Sood, who rightly pointed out that we have to actually reduce the escalation. We have to refrain from making escalatory comments. And also, let's take into account, let's see that Nepal and India relations are layered, and they operationalize in multiple levels. There is the relationship between the two governments, while away from that, and quite far away from that, there are relations between the businesses, there are relationships between the people, and which is the most important relationship, the people-to-people relationship. So we should not have allowed this issue to fester in the first place. We should not, in future also, and from now on also, that we should not allow this issue to fester further, and we have to engage in diplomatic negotiations as soon as possible, actually. And Nepal has been always requesting for that.
But Yuvraj Ghimire understands the politics of both India and Nepal. And Mr. Ghimire, the Indian government is saying there is very little to talk about. There isn't even a dispute, and therefore, how are we going to try and figure out what to do with this border, because it's never been a problem? Is it not a fact, Mr. Ghimire, that the Prime Minister in Nepal, KP Oli, was on a political weak wicket, and a lot of what he is doing is also helping his own position in the Nepalese Communist Party, and he's using the anti-India sentiment to bolster his own support base and save his own skin?
Thank you, Sir. I think to link the incident that happened today along the Sitamarhi, Nepal border with Kalapani border dispute would be unfair. As a reporter, and on the basis of information that I've got,
sure,
entirely different thing happened today, because they were trying to cross the border during lockdown, and some alteration. They tried to smash the rifles of the armed police force on the Nepal side. This happened, but I think this will be unfair to link it with Kalapani issue.
No, so I'm not linking it, but I'm just saying that there's never been firing of this kind. The India Nepal have had an open border. The Nepalese police doesn't start. India opens its heart. India opens its doors to everyone from Nepal.
That's very tragic and unfortunate. And unfortunately, this kind of incidents have been happening along the border. Sometimes SSB coming in firing in Nepal. Sometimes Nepali, armed police force. Some kind of regulation and border crime. Border crime is a major issue which quite often figures in the bilateral high-level summit. But as far as the border issue is concerned, whether Indian position, as you said, that there is not even an iota of evidence on the side of Nepal is true or not, I don't know. But what I want to point out is, during the Prime Minister level meeting in 2000 or even 1997, 2000 was Atal Bihari Vajpayee and GP Koirala. Both sides agreed that this issue would be resolved through diplomatic mechanism with the foreign secretaries of two sides supervising it. So I don't see that making any headway. They haven't seriously sat into it. But if two sides sit for negotiation, which I think is the correct, which I think is the official position of both sides, that to happen after the corona outbreak, corona pandemic subsides, I think that would be the right way.
Ambassador Sood, do you agree with this assertion from many in Nepal that India is guilty of arrogance, that we haven't even had foreign secretary level talks, that the government is saying that they are right now dealing with corona, where you can actually just set up a Zoom call, not a Zoom call, but an equivalent of a Zoom call, and try and resolve this issue instead of letting it fester?
I think there is, I wouldn't call it arrogance, but I certainly think that there is an element of neglect, because after all, Nepal did raise this issue with us in the month of November last year. There was no coronavirus at that point in time. And I know as a diplomat, I can understand what happened. Our ambassador there was retiring at the end of December. It kind of felt that, all right, the new ambassador was getting there a couple of months later. The foreign secretary was retiring at the end of January, foreign secretary level talks, all kinds of things. So I guess that's how it just kept getting shelved. But I agree with you, Rahul, that surely, we read in the newspapers that the Prime Minister has had so many, teleconferences with his counterparts and the foreign minister has had so many teleconferences with his counterparts. Recently, we even had the first joint commission with Australia. So, to that extent, I do think that neighboring countries, since this government has a neighborhood first policy, I think we should have been able to find the time to have, if not actually a face-to-face meeting in December or January or February.
You're making an important point, because I've
conference.
just received a message from the Prime Minister's office that there's been a phone call between the Prime Minister and the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, which is great. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But surely we
I
can have
agree.
a call with the Nepali Prime Minister, or at least the foreign secretaries can talk.
But I'd like to add one more thing. I think that, what we need to understand here is map making is not the way to promote dialogue, because what we are doing is we are locking in positions, and then it makes it that much more difficult. Now, if the Nepal government is actually going to pass a constitutional amendment,
Sure, then you're locked in.
then what do the foreign secretaries talk about? I mean, how do they go about? The foreign secretaries are officials. Then actually you are saying that you need to raise levels to political levels, and then to do adjustments, to find pragmatic solutions becomes that much more difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
So
But here's what I want to say in conclusion. The people of Nepal and the people of India share the deepest cultural ties. They're like our brothers. In fact, they're family. And if there is a feud in the family or a tiff, you work towards resolving it. You don't let it fester. And it's incumbent on the leadership in India and on the leadership in Nepal to not let a problem become a scar that lasts forever. And I think the ambassador is right. If you pass a constitutional amendment, then you're making a minor tiff a permanent issue, and then you've got a border dispute like we have with Pakistan and with China. Do we even need to go down that road? For the time being, I want to thank Tika Dakal, Yuvraj Gimire and Rakesh Sood for joining us on the news track. This is of deep concern given the kind of relations India has with the people of Nepal. Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.